We're actually going to talk about why Miami might not be for you. My last video about Miami being worth it for me has recently picked up a lot of motion and a lot of traction, and I'm grateful for that. But since people don't live here and people think Miami is like a fantasy land, that they don't realize that Miami is not for everybody. Miami is like a big ass playground, right? But it's not a city to play with, because you will get fucking lost in all of the motion. People are always gonna bring up money, oh, it's expensive, it's this, it's that. Listen, if you're gonna move to any major city, you gotta have your money up, right? So just be mindful of things like that. The first main reason as to why you should not move to Miami is if you have any addictions or poor spending habits. Listen, if you're addicted to alcohol, drugs, nicotine, vapes, and you are addicted to these vices that drain your pockets, you're gonna get lost, because when you come to Miami, you're gonna get like so many opportunities to just explore down that pathway even more, and it's so normalized here that it's not okay, you know what I mean? Like, it's really not okay. And a lot of people don't realize that when you're moving to a new city, you need to save as much money as you possibly can to really explore and do things that are actually going to benefit your life. If you have all of these vices and you have poor addictions, gambling is a huge one as well, like online gambling. If you are just throwing your money away, especially with the vices or gambling, hoping that you're gonna make more money, listen, the odds are not in your favor. It's not gonna go well. And you know, you don't wanna really start going down that rabbit hole, because again, Miami has so many options, so many toys for you to play with, you feel me? That if you get fucked up and lost in it, you know what I mean? Good luck. I've said it before. People out here will spend so much money on vapes and things like that, but not even have a car, not anything that is like substantial for them, which I think is crazy. And then the next financial thing that I'm going to talk about is that if you have a lot of debt. Now you might say, Jared, you just said you need a car. What if I need to finance it? Listen, that's just life. If you have a car and you need to finance it, or if you have like a decent amount of student loan debt, you know, be smart, calculate how much money you need to make and work towards that. If you're like me, I have student debt, I still have student debt, and I still moved here and I was still able to make it happen. But that was an expense I truly was not ready for. Like when I moved here and I wasn't making money and I was still paying student loans, I was like, oh shit, I'm down fucking bad. Another thing when it comes to your finances is if you have poor credit. And the reason why I say that is because in my situation, I'll give y'all a real example, is that when I was applying to apartment buildings and things like that that needed to run my credit, they were like, you don't even have money. Now, I had great credit, but they were like, you're not making money in Florida. Now, on top of that, if you're younger, you're probably not gonna have great credit or great credit history. So why are these banks or anyone who's gonna approve your loan or anything like that, why are they gonna trust you? They're not, you know what I mean? Especially when you come to Miami and they're gonna know, like, they don't trust you to save your money and be smart with it. You feel me? That's just not the case. I wanted to get the financing stuff out of the way because that's what is truly gonna impact people. Listen, you need to have money and you need to be smart about it. So if you have these addictions, self-reflection and self-discipline is the most important. You need to be real with yourself and say, do I have self-control? Do I have self-discipline? Can I be, you know, taunted by these things, these toys, or these new experiences, and say, no, I'm not doing that right now because I honestly can't afford it. And that's okay. When you're realistic with yourself, that's when you'll see progress. Another reason why you shouldn't move to Miami is that you have no real goal. And what do I mean by that? Like when people say, I want to move to Miami, my first question to them is why? Why do you want to move here? For me, I knew I wanted to have a new life. I wanted to have new opportunity. I wanted to pursue social media. I wanted to pursue modeling. And Miami was that market for me. And I also knew that I had lined up that I could start doing like the luxury hospitality events. Like I had some basic stuff lined up that I knew I could go out and pursue. But when I talk to a lot of people, they're like, oh, I want to move here because it's great, the weather. And I'm like, listen, I'm not going to sit here and act like the weather is fucking great. But if you're gonna move here and think that shit is just sunshine and rainbows and you're not gonna pay for anything, you know what I mean? You're gonna get lost. You're just gonna be in Miami not knowing exactly what to fucking do. Obviously, that doesn't apply to everybody. If you wanna move here, move here. Don't let that stop you. But again, I've said it before, say it again, a goal without a plan is just a wish. And a lot of people wish that they lived in Miami. So what are you gonna do when you're gonna get here? And then that's gonna lead into my second point of, if you're going to a new city and you're trying to make something of your life, and again, I'm speaking from personal experience from this, you have to be mindful of the fact that like you need to make money. What are you gonna do to make money until you can actually start doing stuff to chase your dream, pursue that dream, create that business? You know, you need to have money to fund shit. Like I said, everything comes down to finances, right? And for me, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do the luxury hospitality events to make my money for the time being. And then that's how I started to invest into camera equipment, and, you know, trying to make shit better like that. And then obviously, as the time went on, I've been able to do, you know, a bit more and more with that space, and I didn't expect it to go that way. But again, when opportunity presents itself, then you can at least be ready for it. And I know, as much as it might sound crazy, you do get used to this lifestyle. Even though it's great, when I first moved here, it was fucking amazing, and I couldn't believe like I could live like this on a day-to-day basis. After 3 years, like I'm used to it. Like I expect life to be like this. That's why when I go anywhere else, I'm like, damn, this sucks. You know what I mean? It makes you appreciate it a little bit more. but you just get used to it. Like once you go to all the new places one time, you're like, you know, like it's all the same over and over again. It's just in Miami. Now, another reason, which might be one of the biggest in Miami, especially you're gonna see it the most, is people chasing a lifestyle because they're trying to fulfill their ego or an image of themselves that they want, but it really isn't them, right? When you're comparing yourself to people, this lifestyle that you see on social media, listen, don't believe social media. I see all these people who are influencers, all these girls who travel, guys who travel, and like, bro, they don't really got it like that. Or like I said, when they have a lot of debt, a lot of credit card debt, they're not really running it up like that for real. And again, this doesn't apply to everybody, but when you see it real life and how they move and what they stress about, you're like, all right. The key to overcoming this trait is just confidence and just accepting, like I said, self-reflection, discipline, accepting where you are and knowing like, this is me, I'm embracing this journey and I'm comfortable with where I'm at and I know I'm not content. I'm always gonna want more, but I'm not chasing a lifestyle. Maybe that's someone, now let me take that back actually. You might be chasing a lifestyle that someone else is living, but you're not chasing their life. You gotta realize that every person goes through their own trials, you know, their own flaws and especially personal flaws as well. Like as much as someone might make their life look great, it's probably not fucking that great, you know what I mean? But if you're chasing a lifestyle like I want this, I want that, listen, fucking go for it. But you know, stay humble, stay content, put your head down and just fucking work. You'll see it all the time. You go out to the club with a bunch of dudes and they out here blowing a bag because they're trying to impress a bunch of people that don't know them. They're trying to get girls that would never fuck with them unless they weren't blowing a bag on them, you know what I mean? That's real life, that's real shit. You really see it out here. You see dudes, you know, blowing their money on yachts because they want to, you know, invite all the IG baddies that when you meet the IG baddies real life, they're fucking airheads. They don't even got no substance to them. They just look good, you feel me? That's really the Miami life. Now, of course, this is situational. It's not all the time, but this is just a lot of stuff that people like I'll meet in Miami and they just got weird energy. Knowing who you are will take you farther in life than trying to be someone else. You know what I mean? Like if you are who you are and you're not where you need to be, it might take you 10 years to become the person that you want to become, but you'll get there eventually as long as you never stop. Because the path that you're taking is not going to be the same path that someone else is taking, and that's okay. Like this life shit is not fair. It's not fucking equal. Like it is what it is. And I want to make it clear that I am speaking from the perspective of a 25-year-old young adult who, this is what I see with people around my age. And I'd say even younger, maybe even a bit older. I'd say that this video probably targets someone between, you know, the ages of 16 to 30, especially in Miami, maybe even like 35 if you want to move here, have a life change, whatever. These are things that you have to be very careful of. I see a lot of young adults blowing a lot of money on vices and shit that is toxic for them, where they're gambling and they're losing money, but they don't have a car and they're not making the right financial decisions. They have a shitload of credit card debt, and it's like, bro, and then you sit here and complain and wonder like, oh, Miami's so expensive. Well, maybe you'd have a little bit more fucking change in your pocket if you weren't being dumb about your bread. You know what I mean? Like, that's just a matter of the fact. So again, I say all this to say, I don't want this to scare you away from making that jump to not even Miami, any major city, because any major city, you're gonna deal with this stuff. But you have to be extremely mindful of it. And it's like, when people message me, I love when people message me and they ask for my opinion or my help about moving out, moving to Miami. I truly do, because I want to help as many people as I can. And again, that's why I started this YouTube channel, but you have to be realistic. So I'm actually gonna leave you guys with a little added bonus as to what I think you should prepare to do before you make that jump to, again, not even Miami, any major city. First and foremost, you need to have money in your bank account, because when you move here, money might not be guaranteed, again, unless you work corporate 9 to 5 and maybe you could have a salary job, whatever. I'm a freelancer, so I speak about freelancing experience. In my opinion, you should have at least $20,000 to $25,000. That's just a fact. And 20 grand to some people might sound like a shitload of money. 20 grand to some people might sound like nothing, and they thought I was gonna say something way more. I think 20 grand, if you wanna move to Miami, is very reasonable for you to move here, get yourself situated, and not be so stressed about money financially. And again, this is situational. You gotta know who you are. You gotta know what your expenses are like. Do you have a high interest rate on your car loans and things like that? Do you need to refinance it? Again, apply this to your life. But I think if you move to Miami and you have a plan and you have a goal and you've already, you know, put pen to paper and you've thought it out, written it out, I think 20 grand, you know, no matter where you go, you can at least get your life started, especially if you're starting somewhere new. I'm speaking from my perspective on life and moving to Miami, how I moved here from nothing to the city, and people just want to know how I do it. Again, I greatly appreciate all the love and feedback that I've gotten on one of my most recent videos about moving here and is it still worth it, and things that I've learned along the way. And with that, I've gotten a lot of new subscribers that maybe don't know my past. So if you've been rocking with me for a while and I keep repeating things in my video. I'm sorry, I don't want to sound repetitive, but we're getting new subs, new people that, you know, and it means a lot to me when they ask me these questions because they don't know my story. So again, I really do appreciate all the love and the support and everyone who reaches out to me on Instagram. Like, you know who you are, and you know I try my best to get back to you and give you real advice. And, you know, it's more situational if you do, because then I can actually, you know, see the perspective that you're coming from. Go out there, make it happen, just be smart about it. That's all I can say, and I would greatly advocate that for everyone. You got to get out of your comfort zone. Follow me on the Instagram, reach out if you have any specific questions about your life and how you should go about things. I'm just here to help. So hopefully this video did that. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and y'all know the deal. Till next time, I'll catch y'all later.